All right, we're going to change the oil in a Fiat 124 Spider, 2017 in this particular case, but I think several years after are all the same. This is a little trickier than I thought to jack this thing up. What I did was, as you can see, I got the jack stands underneath it right here. Both sides. In order to get that there, let me get this over here. I put my floor jack very low profile with one with a pad on it. I can do this with the camera and the flashlight. All the way up underneath here, if you can see, right here is where I put the jack in the front. So I jacked it up. And then I put the jack stands on the edge. Let me show you exactly where I got them. A little nerve-wracking doing it at first because I just didn't want to mess nothing up. But right here, and the book was not exactly clear on exactly how to do this, but as you can see, you have this little indentation right here. And so I put the jack stand right here in the middle, basically, right here on the lip, right here on the edge of the lip. I did the same thing in the back here, as you can see across the way there. Now, in order to jack it up in the back, I did the front first, and then I put another jack, floor jack, here in the back, right underneath the rear end, right here on the frame. Right here. So I just placed it right there in the middle, jacked it up, put my two rear jack stands in there, and it's all good. Okay, so now we got the car up in the air. What is needed now is oil, filter, a 1 1/8 socket. 1 1/8. There you go. A 12 millimeter, 13 millimeter. Of course, your ratchet. I had to get the oil filter. I've got an OEM quality oil filter. The oil, a little trickier to find. Evidently, Pennzoil is the oil that they used. I guess as part of the when they developed this engine. Pennzoil was actually the oil that they developed it with, and you have to have, I think there's only about 4 different oils that have got this rating. I'll put it up on the video later. So, you know, where's the heck is it at? It is somewhere here. There we go, right there. Chrysler MS 12991. Chrysler MS 12991. There you go, right there. You can see that. That's the big deal. I don't know about all these other ones here with the Fiat and Renault and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool to have the Ferrari logo on the front. I thought that was kind of neat. Used by Ferrari, so you can't be too far off. But you had to get that particular rating on the oil. There's only a handful of oils that get it. But me personally, I want to go ahead and get the Pennzoil, the one that actually the Fiat developed the engine with. They went, a lot of R&D went into that, so I figured, what the heck, I'll go ahead and go with that. Of course, you got to have your low-profile floor jack, and then the next thing you do here, oh yeah, the oil filter. That would be a good thing to look at. As you can see, there's the oil filter. Got the engine compartment, oil filter, right down in there. In order to get to that guy, we're going to have to take off this thing right here, which is actually, I think, pretty easy to do. We'll just put my fingernail underneath this little yellow piece here and pull that down, and then gently, I think you just, oh yeah, there you go, you squeeze this piece right here. As you can see, you squeeze that right there and just pull it right on out. So that comes out of the way. This way you got a clear shot with the 1 1/8 millimeter socket down in there. You have to move this hose a little bit out of the way to pull the thing out. But there you go. That's how the oil filter comes out. Now on the bottom, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that second. I'm not going to do that first. What I'm going to do first is get my 12mm socket and take off all these purple looking bolts for the pan. That's got to come off first. Then after that comes off, then I can get to the oil drain plug. So there you go. Okay, got the oil pan off. A little dirty. I'm going to clean that up, of course. Took the bolts out, quite a few of them. They're all kind of got that little greenish thing on them, greenish kind of color. And get my light here. We will show you where the oil drain plug is. I will. Here, right there. Oops, come on there, light. The light's getting a little funky on me. Okay, so if you look, if I can get the camera right, there you go, right there. There is the oil drain plug, 13mm. Gonna put my oil drain pan there. Pop that guy out, drain it, and after I drain that, I will probably, while I'm draining it, I will go ahead and undo the oil filter itself. Okay, just give you an idea what I'm doing here. Whoops. Come on over there, flashlight. Got the 1 1/8 3/4 inch drive, long extension there. I'm gonna put that right there on this guy, and that's how you take the oil filter canister off. Just to let you know, I was mistaken about the 1 1/8. It is not 1 1/8, at least in this particular case. I got 1 1/16. So a little smaller. You don't want to put something on there too big. You can do damage to the socket, to the canister itself. Anyways, all right. You see how this guy's coming out of there? It don't really want to come out of there. It's just a really, really tight fit. But I'll work it out. You know, I have to move that little hose down there in the bottom, as you can see, if I can get my light. Move that hose a little bit out of the way. I don't think I'm going to have to take anything else off, but I should be able to get it out of there. Just give you an idea. Okay, I got it out of there, as you can see. And if I can get the light and everything, the camera here lined up. Fine camera work I got going on here. As you can see down there, there is some oil. Kind of leftover oil in there. I'm sure it'd be fine. I could leave it there, put the new oil filter on here. As you can see, there's the old one right there. I just popped a new one in. You know, it's got the little pieces on it. If I can do this one-handed. Keep in mind, it's the first time I've done an oil change on this car. Whoop. Come on out of there. Well, I guess I cannot do it with one hand. Hang on. Let me put this down for a minute. There we go. All right. There you go. So there's that's how that guy comes out. You got the little pieces that kind of help lock it in the bottom of this thing. I already kind of knew that going into all this. And I'm going to clean that out, of course. And then you got the O-ring that needs to come off. Got the new O-ring, comes with it. So just pop that guy off with a little flathead screwdriver. And put the new one on, of course. And I'm going to get something and shove it down in there just because that irritates me. I just don't want that oil sitting in there. I want all the old oil out. I'm letting that thing drain too. I'm going to let it drain for a nice little while just to make sure that all the old oil is out. Let me take a look, see how that's doing. And as you can see, I think I'm about there. It's not really much or nothing coming out at this point, so that's a good thing. And I want to make a note too that, as you can see, I got the whole car level. See my oil dripping from the oil filter. And that's the reason why I took the pan off first, so I wouldn't have a bunch of trash in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to clean that pan out, put it in there, and I'm going to have to clean a little bit right there in the A-arm. Oh, there we go. I am still dripping. Yes, I am. I didn't see it before. Yep. I'm still dripping out of the oil pan. So I'm going to let that drip for a little while. I'm going to get all the old oil out. Of course, you got to replace the oil with this particular oil, and it says according to the book, it takes 4 quarts. So there you go. Okay, I'm about ready to put everything back together. This is actually the next day from my original, the first part of this video. As you can see, I got my oil pan all cleaned up. I'm starting to think that maybe with this oil pan, I probably should have left it on. Now, I'm just guessing about this. Left it on and taken my oil filter off. Of course, this is my new one right here. You see it's nice and pretty. Goes in that part there first, right into there like that. Also have, there's my old O-ring sitting over there. That's my new O-ring. Of course, that goes on the housing here. Now, I just noticed on this thing that it says, look at that right there. It says drain, okay? Got an arrow pointing. And it points to an opening right there. There's no other opening in this thing anywhere else. So I'm thinking, okay, if you unscrew this thing to the point where that opening is set at the bottom and just let it drain for a little bit, it would drain right into the oil pan, would it not? And this way keep from getting all over, you know, the frame part, which is what it did. I had to wipe it all down. Just a thought, don't know. I think I may try that next time I do an oil change. Anyways, got my super duper Pennzoil, the good stuff, 4 quarts, and got my new oil filter, OEM quality. In this particular case, I got one, a CarQuest one. There was a bunch to try to choose from. I don't really know what the best one is. I did notice also on this housing right here, if you can see this at all, it says Pure Flux, filters Pure Flux. Interesting. I think I might try to look that up and just see what I can find out. But anyways, if there's any ideas on that, you can please post them in the comments on this video. And please be sure to add me on your with the videos. I'm always have some new stuff coming up. Usually it has to do with cars, but not always with cars. Sometimes I'll post some music. Sometimes I'll post something to do with agriculture. I'm a garlic part-time garlic farmer. I always try to keep it interesting, whatever it is. So, and I may try to do some stuff with some interesting cars, such as Fiat 600, if you can make it out through there. Got a buddy of mine that's got some really nice cars that I might start doing some videos of those. But anyways, add me. Thanks. Bye. Okay, just a quick note. I put the O-ring on here, and I put a little bit of oil on it. You want to put a little bit of oil on there so that way that thing seals up nice and pretty. I know with some other canister type oil filters like this, that they'll put like this grease or something on the threads. I've seen that before. I know that's actually something that really needs to be done. In this particular case, I have not seen anything about grease on these threads for this particular canister. I didn't see nothing on it when I pulled it off. So I just put some oil on there. I actually just poured a little bit of oil on the threads and let it kind of circulate around on there and wipe it around on there. Just to make sure there is some oil on there, but mainly on the gasket. So anyway, just a quick note. While I got the video going, I guess I might as well go ahead and shove this guy in here. So let's see, we got this, where's that thing made out? Made in Korea, South Korea. Get out of town. South Korea. Huh, interesting. All right, and an Italian car. Anyway, so we're going to put it in there. I think we just pop it in there. Yes, we do. There you go. It is in there. Pops in there. Alright, looks good. We're going to put it in there. Right back in the old engine bay there. I didn't get all the oil out, most of it out of there, but anyways, going to pop that back in there, and I'll put my drain plug back in. and put the oil in there, and we should be good to go. Okay, got the 1 1/16. I told you 1 1/8 before. I was incorrect. 1 1/16, at least for this one, 2017. Yeah, I kind of I don't think it's probably any different with the other year models, or for that matter, the other Fiat 500 engines, because they're all using the same engine. This engine actually has gone in several Fiat cars, and I think even some Dodge cars. But anyways, that's a whole different story. So if I can get this light in there, that would really be nice. There we go. I got my 1 1/16 socket and a long extension on a 3/4 inch drive ratchet. There you go, snug it down, and I think we're good right there. Of course, you do not want to forget to put your plug back in. Right here, don't forget your little plug. Goes in right here to the turbo. Get this guy back in here, see if we can see with some light there. There we go. Get this guy right here. There we go. Push that little yellow plastic piece up in there. Make sure it's good and snug. Have the oil filter snug down. It went all the way to the bottom and it stopped turning. And I just put a little bit of extra on it just to make sure that it was on there good, and that's all it amounts to. We got the cap off. Got the cap off. Funnel. Pop it in there. And start pouring the oil. That way you don't make a mess. Okay, got the oil in. Got my oil pan. Whoop. My oil pan. Let me get it out of here so you can see. Got my oil pan back on. All the screws back in. Got everything nice and pretty, nice and cleaned up. Wipe down all the little oil drops and everything everywhere. I'm going to fire it up and test it and make sure that there are no leaks. Very important to do. You know, of course, you want to look around your oil filter, if I can see that darn thing on the camera. Really some good camera work. There it is right there. I'm going to look around it really closely to make sure that there are no oil leaks coming from there or anywhere underneath the car while it's up on a jack stand. I'm going to fire it up, make sure it's good to go, and if everything checks out, that's it. Oil change done on a 2017 Fiat 124 Spider.